Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the After Curfew podcast, where college brought us together. We're four friends. We have a guest tonight. College brought us together. Life tried to scatter us, but we kept the conversation going. And now we're bringing the chat to you. Welcome to the After Curfew podcast. Each week, one of us brings a surprise topic, and the rest of us have to answer on the fly. But we do have a guest. We're trying to have a guest every week. It hasn't always worked out, but we do have one tonight. And Jennifer, would you please introduce our special guest tonight?
Absolutely. I'd like to introduce Jeanne Sturdivant Keopsell. She and I and Kim and Barb and Tinsley were all in the sorority together, Delta Chi Gamma, at Keopsell College before it was a university. And Jeanne lives in Florida, and we reconnected on Facebook a few years ago. And we just want to welcome you tonight to the After Curfew podcast with us.
Thank you. I've been following you guys ever since you started, and it's been exciting to watch. So,
all three episodes
I'm
that we've
honored
done.
to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Have you.
It's quality, not quantity, right? So this is
Yes.
number 4. So
Yes.
we're moving right along. So, Jeannie, do you want to go ahead and just tell a little bit about yourself?
Oh Lord, where do I
Just
start?
a little bit. The short version.
Well, I met you guys. Definitely met you guys at Keopsell College. I went to school with Barbara at Walton. We graduated together, and life has certainly taken me down paths that I didn't realize I needed or wanted to go down. And got married in 1989, and married a guy named Raymond Keopsell. He went to school with us, and we had 2 beautiful children. Yeah, we had two beautiful children, Jenna and Jonathan Keopsell. Jenna's 30 and Jonathan's 25. They both are have graduated or still continuing at UCF, University of Central Florida, and they are in the Aspire program at Disney. They both work at Disney. My life took off, and when we moved to Florida in 1991, so I've been here for quite a long time. Originally, we were in Tampa, and I used to do a lot of modeling and everything back when you guys had met me. And I modeled as a teenager and a young adult, and became a Barbizon girl. And so I was a national director and traveled all over the country doing that. And then the funeral business kind of fell in my lap after that. And I was in the funeral industry for about 10 to 12 years. And I was telling Jennifer during that time, I lost my entire birth family over a span of 7 years. You guys probably remember Olin,
Yes.
my oldest brother. He passed away in 2020. And then my dad had passed away in 2017. My mom passed away last year in March, and my middle brother, I'm the youngest, passed away December 31st. So I took care of all of them.
Wow.
And I guess that was God's way of saying, you're going to go into the funeral industry and take care of your family. And I did. After that, I started with Disney about 3.5 years ago. And it was probably the best move I ever made. Because I had been in the funeral industry, it was literally wearing me down because I was working for 2 cemeteries and 4 funeral homes. So I was a busy, busy lady working 60 and 70 hours a week. Here at Disney, I only work at 40 hours, and I get to play the rest of the time. I'm off Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. I can do whatever I want, go to the parks and stuff, and it's got great benefits. So that's where I'm at. And again, my path, when I was 21 and, fresh out of school and everything, I never imagined that I would be down the paths that I went, but I did a lot of different things. Mostly it's been in sales. So there you have it.
Well, that's great. So that's good that you introduced yourself, because we've done that like in the first and the second, and we've told about ourselves throughout all 3 episodes. So as you know, we decided to start this, and it's about life at 60 plus. So that's what our topics are kind of around. And Jennifer has been so generous to volunteer because I'm doing the tech. So I was like, I don't have time for a topic. So Jennifer volunteered, and she's topics. She's really all these guys have been really good with bringing topics. So I'm excited to hear what Jennifer has for us tonight.
Okay, so tonight we are going to talk about the subject that's on the title page, which is "You're Not Dead Yet." So what's the holdup?
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about the fact that we have a lot of life left. And we're going to go back. Jeanne, you were sort of touching on this a little bit. We're going to go back and talk about what we thought life was going to be like for us and what we dreamed about doing and being. And kind of, like you said, the left turns and things that took you in different paths. And then we're going to talk about what we want out of life, what's left, what we want, and how we're going to get it and what we're going to do. So the first is, let's talk about, and Kim, maybe you can start this. When you were in college, where did you think you were going to be at 30? And what did you think your life was going to look like?
I mean, I think being a nurse, and really having kids, being married, just the I guess, chronological of, what you're supposed to do when you graduate from college, I actually got married the start of my senior year of college.
Wow.
So, it was my last year of nursing school, and my parents were fans of me getting married at that point. And
They were what? They were what?
Fans of me.
Not fans.
Okay.
Not fans
You were breaking up. Sorry.
that I was getting married.
I didn't know that.
Well, because of where I was in school, and I'm like, I have 1 year left. Do you think I'm going to quit? But so anyway, I think that's just following that, that path, Jennifer. James and I had dated a long time, so I was ready to get married, and so yeah, just graduate, get married, or whatever that, and have kids and have a career. That was, what I thought.
And you did it. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Barbara, how about you? What did you see when you were in school? You were an education major, and what did you think 30 would be, and then sort of the rest of your life?
I met my husband while I was in college as well. So after we got married,
I can't hear really well. Sounds like the mic's covered up. Or
can you hear me now?
Yeah.
That's better.
Yeah, that's good.
So I think I thought married and kids, and by the time I was 30, I did have 4 kids by then. So, it was, it's a whirlwind when you're a young mother. It's consuming. So it was for me.
Right.
But it's great.
Good. And Jeanne, how about you? You touched on it a little bit, but how about you?
Yeah, I got married at 25, and I kind of had like a plan that I would have a kid at least by 30, which I did. I missed it by 1 week. I turned 31 a week later with Jenna. And then I had Jonathan 5 years later, which was, in 35. Didn't know if I would have any more. I mean, my life was pretty busy. We had moved to Florida in 1991. And most of my life has been all about sales. I was an English major, and I never really did anything with it. I just wanted to get out of school, and I knew I was strong in sales. And so that path has taken me, but it was just weird, all the different types of jobs that I've had or careers that I've had in that time frame. When I left school, I know originally I had told you when I was in school, I was working for Nutrisystem. And started out as a receptionist and worked my way up to a regional administrator, where we created in Atlanta 4 centers. We grew in the time span that I was there, 8 years, 23 centers. And I was
Wow.
part of that, growing that business and everything. We moved to Florida, and I bounced around and started with a company called the Freedom Group. And it was more, I became a home services director. And what that was decorating. And they picked me because I was having to decorate all the new offices. And so they go, oh, okay, she's got, this, experience in decorating, which I had no clue. But I did that, and handled housekeeping and all that stuff. So we did home services, and I was there for about 10 years. And then from there, my life kind of fell apart. Ray and I divorced, and I built a house. And and I tell you what, I will tell you, don't ever build a house. I literally built a house. I mean, I was the one that was putting in drywall. I had the electric and the plumbing done, but the things that are physical, like the drywall and everything, I did. And I was, by then, I was in my 40s, and my kids were right there with me. And at one point, I can say, because I had sold my house and I was still in the process of building that house, we were homeless for a short span. And it was weird, because we weren't living out of our car, but we were actually living at the house that we were building. And
Wow.
it didn't have a certificate of deposit, if you
certificate
realize
of
occupancy.
That works
Anyway,
too.
Yeah. And so from there, that's when I was doing Barbizon, and then I fell into the funeral industry, and I got transferred over to Orlando, and yada, 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 the rest. So that's what I'm saying. My life took a lot of different turns and a lot of different industries that I never would have guessed that I would have been in.
Right. Okay.
So.
Well, Tinsley, what about you?
Well, I've said this before. My life didn't go in the same line that you guys did. I graduated college when I was 34 or something. Yeah. So I went through school and then quit and then went back, later. And so I got married at I think I was 34, 35. No children. And I thought I was going to work at IBM because that's what my mom and my stepfather were doing. And that looked like a good plan. Of course, that about that time is when all the IBM kind of fell apart with all the, I won't go into that, but they started laying everybody off, and it just wasn't the same. And so I never got on with them, but my stepfather was a meeting planner for IBM and a producer. And he said, you'd be a good hotel salesperson. So I did that for 17 years. So started off at the front desk, worked my way up. And then my husband I got married, and my husband got into real estate, and I was like, wow, he looks like he's having a good time and he can sleep late and all that. I was like, I'm this fool that gets up and has to be somewhere for 9 hours a day plus an hour, to drive in either way. And I did get to travel a lot. That was fun because I was in sales. In sales. And so when I went into real estate, I was like, wow, where's this been my whole life? This is
And you were great at it.
Yeah, and I'm still doing it.
At it.
I just put a deal together as we're sitting here talking.
Oh, congratulations.
And it's been a little slow. I'm not used to saying that, but it was a little slow. So my husband passed away a year ago. So it's been the most difficult thing I've ever done. But here, we started this podcast, and I do a sailing podcast. I've been doing that for 2 years on Wednesday nights, and I do this on Thursday nights, and it really has been great for me and my mental health. And I've been on this, I left on the boat October 1st, and I'm making my way down to South Florida and hopefully over to the Bahamas. So nothing, I didn't plan any of that.
Right.
None of that.
Right.
I didn't know I was going to be a sailor for 10 years now.
Wow.
So it all just happened, and it wasn't my plan. But I'm glad I don't regret I don't have very many regrets. So we'll just leave it with
That's
that.
wonderful. That's
Yeah.
great. That's great. Well, I'll share mine just a little bit. Y'all knew me when I was in school. It was all about the school, good grades, getting a good job. I have a vivid memory of coming back to the table in the student center after my interview with Arthur Young downtown Atlanta. And everybody, Terry, my big sister, Tinsley, you guys were all there. And you wanted to know every question, how we did, everything. And Tinsley's laughing because we still have a joke 40 years later about it. But so, I really plan, and thanks to Dr. Harry.
Well, you got to tell her what the question was.
So Tinsley asked me, what questions do they ask? And I said, well, they asked me what my biggest flaws were. And so this is a CPA firm, a national CPA firm. And they asked me my biggest flaws. And I said, embezzlement.
I did. I said embezzlement. Embezzlement.
Okay. And we have laughed about it all these years. Embezzlement. It's just still to this day say that to me at times. Embezzlement. But so thanks to Harry Lasher at Kennesaw, who took over as dean of the business school, he taught me to dream big. Like he wanted me to go to Wharton. And then if I didn't go to Wharton, he wanted me to go into a national public firm. So I got an interview, small school accounting interview at the Gaslight Tower. I went and I got the job, and I thought I was going to be a partner at Arthur Young. They were bought by Ernst & Young, no doubt. As a matter of fact, the managing partners told me in the 80s, we don't like to hire you young girls because y'all get married and want to have babies just when you start making money for the firm. It is, but I told him, Mr. Merrick, I am going to be a partner at Arthur Young. 2.5 years later, I couldn't take it because I traveled 89% of the time the first year, 79 the second and third year. So I just had enough. I left. Stayed in accounting for years.
Plus, I'm sorry, I know I'm butting in. There was other reasons why you didn't like it.
Had a lot of male friends who would like to be closer to me. There were than
what I mean.
I was willing to be. So, but it was, it was a hard job. I mean, you worked tons of hours. You were out of town all the time. Steve was out of town, my husband, and so I left. Went to work for a publicly traded company, and I worked there for years and stayed in accounting. And then eventually, I went into sales and recruiting, and was in that industry for 10 years. We started our own firm when we moved to Gulf Shores, and it was wonderful, and I loved it. And I accidentally placed my husband in Tallahassee while I was a recruiter, so we ended up in Tallahassee for 13 years, where we finished raising our girls. And then I missed accounting, and I didn't want to start all over in a new town, so went back in accounting and stayed in it until we moved up to Huntsville. And Steve and I started a brand new business in here, August of 2021. We knew my daughter, my son-in-law, and his parents, and that was it. And we started this new business. And who would have thought at 58 I would have started a business? But I did. Awesome. And I, never thought I would be a business owner, but I love it, and I wouldn't look back. So
awesome.
Yeah. So the next area we're going to explore kind of is talking about things when we were younger that we absolutely love to do. And why today, why did they slip away? Mm-hmm. And are we glad they left? Do we miss them? Do we wish that we could somehow recapture those things? And, kind of just think through what did you used to do that you absolutely loved that you don't do now? Tinsley, why don't you start?
Play the guitar.
Oh, that's mine.
Good one.
I was playing since I was 8 years old. And then when I got into real estate and computers took over my life, it slowly just edged its way out. And I feel guilty about it all the time.
Yeah. Well,
I even have a guitar here on the boat.
Well, so we're going to talk about that at the end of the session, about how we get back to bringing joy to ourselves. It's not selfish for us to enjoy our lives and bring joy to ourselves. And so Kim, how about you? What's something you used to love Now, girls, we can't say having sex, okay? That's not appropriate on the podcast.
Okay,
So-
let me just scratch that off.
exactly. Don't say that. We don't want to know that much. But what are things you did that you used to do?
TMI
that you
was on
enjoyed?
the. Oh, remember, Barbara said TMI was one of the things we didn't want to be when we got older.
When we got older, yes, exactly.
I like how you said that when it was my turn, Jennifer.
Oh, well, you know.
I, I mean, I was thinking Tinsley picked something really cool. But I was thinking like girls' trips, like we would all go to the beach. And
Oh, yeah.
I mean, about once a year with a group of girls that I love, but more. I mean, I'd like to do that more. And I think, when you're busy with your career and family and whatever, it's husbands, during that phase of life, it's hard to make time for and work. So I think maybe more of the time away with girlfriends, because I think Kim, one of our friends, told me that gosh, I can't remember who it was that said, was somebody asked somebody famous, like, and I will think of it in a minute, like, what is one thing to keep your marriage strong? And I think it was her grandmother, but she said, get you some girlfriends.
Yes.
And I thought that's so true, So I think maybe more time with girlfriends.
Right. Jeanne, how about you? What's something you used to do that you love that you don't do anymore? It slipped away. Maybe you're glad you don't do it anymore. Maybe you miss it.
One I was thinking is reading more. I used to
Okay.
read a lot more and everything, and I don't do that as often. I kind of gave that gift to my daughter. She loves to read, and she's got like a whole library, and I just don't read anymore like I used to and take the time for myself to read. I also exercising. I used to be athletic and do a lot. I played basketball in college and ran track for Kennesaw, and I can't do those things anymore. I realize I'm 61 now, but and I'm kind of glad I don't do basketball anymore, because the past couple of years, my health has gone down where I've had to have 6 surgeries done on my legs, and they had to take out the saphenous veins out of my legs. And so I've been going through surgeries and injections to get where I can walk and do better things, such as exercise and walking. And I'll get there one day, but basketball kind of did me in on that. I got injured a lot of times when I was on the court, and that took out some of my ability to be able to exercise. And one other thing is, I was thinking, as somebody mentioned, girls' trips and stuff. Not so much girls' trips, but just taking vacations. We used to vacation and do lot more things. And thinking back, I try to do little staycations now with my family at Disney because I have that ability to do so. But start going on cruises and stuff. My parents went on 51 cruises before they passed away.
Wow.
And that's something that I would like to do as well.
Yeah,
So vacations,
wonderful.
reading, and exercise, those would be my top 3 things that I would want to get back in my life.
That's great. How about you,
Yeah.
Barb?
Well, just a shout out for us 2 Walton Raiders who played basketball. Although Jeanne was the center and made a lot of baskets, I would have if I'd ever been allowed to get off the bench.
Aw.
But that was okay because I learned a lot on that bench. Jeanne. I learned
I love
a lot
that.
on the bench.
I bet.
I did. You learn a lot.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the rest of your life, don't be on the bench anymore.
That's
Yeah.
a great lesson.
Out there.
Put me in, coach.
Yeah, and that goes right in keeping with our theme tonight. Don't be on the bench anymore.
Don't be on the bench.
Yeah.
I say to God, I say this to God, Jesus, I want to go in. Put me in now.
Man, coach.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but as far as my activities, I think the travel is good for me. some quiet, maybe some solo travel. I'm a little jealous of Tinsley, who's sailing by himself, because I just think that kind of solitude would be so enriching, you know.
Yeah.
But I love being with people, and
Well, you
so
guys are going to get the opportunity to come down.
We
sure
are.
will.
We are.
Well, invite me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't threaten us with a good time.
Party in the Keys or
Exactly.
Bahamas.
Exactly.
I love the picture you guys picked off of Facebook. Oh my God, I look like a.
Well, I looked.
Hey,
I was the
Well,
only
it-
picture. I mean, you don't post a lot of pictures of
I
yourself.
don't. No, I usually post it of other things, but
Yeah.
yeah, that was at my 60th birthday, and guess where we were? At Disney.
I
So
love
Ah,
it.
it looked
Yeah.
like you were somewhere fun. There was a
yeah.
lot of
Right.
festivities behind you.
Right.
And I have to say to Barbara, thank you for that shout out to Walton Raiders and everything. You know, I
He
Go
was-
played,
Raiders.
he
you
was-
know,
he
in
was so
high
good
school,
at it.
and
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
also, you know, I don't know if you remember Trina Strickland, but
Of course. Yeah.
she and I, you know, had planned on going to UGA and trying to play basketball there. And
Mm.
she ended up with spinal meningitis. And my parents were like, nope, you can't go. And so I ended up at Kennesaw. The coach had contacted me and asked if I would play
Nice.
basketball there. And I was on the first women's basketball team. So I got to
Wow.
play, and I made that decision
I believe it.
because, like you, I didn't want to sit on the bench. I wanted to play, and I
That's
did get that
great.
opportunity. So
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's
Yeah.
move to the next subject, girls.
Wait, Kim's got something to say there.
Oh,
What-
sorry, Kim. Go ahead.
I was about to say, tell us yours, Jen.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. So I did play guitar and I sang a lot.
Yeah.
From middle school on. And I let my guitar go because my sister was getting married and I wanted to stop biting my nails, and I grew my nails out. And that's why I stopped. But how stupid is that?
Yeah.
But the thing that actually has my heart now is I used to could speak Spanish pretty well in high school and college, and I completely let it go. And it is on my heart that I'm supposed to learn it again. And I took lessons in Tallahassee. I had a great teacher before COVID, and then we couldn't get together anymore, and I let it go. But I think that's what I would really like to do. I'd like to learn Spanish again. And be
You
able
know,
to
it'd be fun,
converse.
and I looked into this years ago. Is go to an
Yes.
place in
That was
Mexico or
immersion.
something.
Yes.
Immersion, yeah. And you know, where you just go stay like with a family and you just speak
Kim can
Spanish.
tell you all about it with Rachel.
Guatemala.
Yes.
Yeah, because I took
Yes.
Spanish in high school too, and it'll
That's-
come when I'm there, and then I'll lose it, and you know.
Right. Well, I talked to a waiter that waits on Steve and me at a place around the corner that we go to frequently, and he told me he's from Puerto Rico, and he told me he would speak with me. He would
good.
help me, and I could help him. He speaks fairly decent English, but he said there are times he struggles with structures. But anyway, so that's mine. That's mine.
Well, you know,
The
my
only-
assistant speaks fluent
I know.
Spanish.
We met her.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
she always calls me Chica.
I love that.
But yeah, I should just speak.
That
with
would
her
be
more.
a great plan for us
Like,
to
we'll
do.
start talking about listings, and I'll be like, well, I don't know that word. Como se dice
Yeah,
listing?
como se dice, exactly. That's the one that's how do you say for those who don't
Yeah.
speak it, but that's how,
Yeah,
that's
say
the
that a
number
lot.
one phrase. Yes,
Yeah.
como se dice.
And the only thing
Yes.
I know is Yo quiero Taco Bell. So,
Oh.
there you go.
I love it. I love it.
Learning from TV.
Yes, yes.
I want to change mine to speaking Spanish.
Oh, well,
I
okay, then
like-
we need to go on a trip, and
We have a trip planned now.
That
Obviously,
that
we're
means
gonna
we
have to get
can't
this
talk in English.
Perfect
No.
language in Guatemala that we
No
have done.
English.
We'll be going.
out.
Let me look. Translation.
Exactly.
Let me tell you something funny. So
Okay.
every year, you go there, they give you a test when you get there. So
Oh,
And-
wow.
I'm like, well, next year and it's alphabetical, right? So I'm like, okay, well, this year I was grade A, okay, grade A.
She's breaking up.
Yeah.
Kim.
Kim, you're
Breaking
breaking up. You're breaking up. Try again.
She's choppy.
Seems like
It's her internet connection. She's frozen.
okay.
Yeah. We're gonna get new equipment
get
for
back
all
to
of
it.
you.
We're
back
going to
to
get
that.
back to it.
We're
Yes.
gonna get equipment for
Don't
everybody.
give up on us.
All right. So what?
Yes.
What's your
Okay.
next?
All right.
Yeah.
So the next thing is, let's think about, we were in college and we were younger. We weren't really thinking about a lot of other people. We were kind of thinking about what we wanted to do. We were, I hate to use the word selfish because we were age appropriate for where we were. But
That's
think
true.
about, and just, a quick blurb. When is the last time you did something selfish that was purely for yourself?
Mm.
And that's something as you get older, you kind of forget sometimes.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
I'm doing it. So
yeah.
I don't have kids, so it comes up more for me.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know that it's selfish. Selfish would be leaving your assistant at home. Uh-oh. There we go.
Oh,
Did we lose Barb?
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're still waiting for Kim to come back, but go ahead.
Yeah. Selfish would be leaving your assistant to do all your work and telling her good luck. That's not selfish. You're staying in tune. You're doing it for yourself, but you're not a selfish person by nature. My selfish thing was, I would say probably, I had an answer for this earlier today. And now, well, probably just when I get a chance to see you guys, when Barb or Kim calls and I just say, I'm going. I just need to go see them. And I'm going to
Is
go.
that
And
selfish?
yeah.
Is that selfish?
I don't know that it's selfish, but it's for me. It's purely for me.
Okay.
But it is good for my relationship with Steve, because
Sure.
Steve and I talked even when we were dating that we didn't want to lose ourselves. We didn't want to just we are Steve and Jeanne, and everybody calls us that, but we still wanted to be Steve and Jennifer separately. And so
Yeah.
I don't know how selfish it is. How about you, Jeanne?
Gosh, I can't even think of the last time I really did something for myself. This weekend, I'm going to go to Disney and stay at Coronado Springs and go do the Food and Wine Festival before it closes. I don't drink, but I like to go and explore the festivals and stuff like that. That's probably about the most selfish thing I probably have done or will do. A
Right.
lot of times it's just all about my family.
Exactly.
My
And
kids
Kim,
are
that's
very
sorry.
close. Yeah, no, my kids are very close to me. So we do a lot of things together. So
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Kim, what we're talking about, and we're going to get back to your Guatemala story, but what we're talking about now is, when's the last time you did something that some may say was selfish, but it was just for you?
Don't make me go. I have to think for a minute.
Well,
Okay. You go ahead,
I'll
Barb.
say, what I do that it relaxes me a little bit is I'll drive to Warner Robins, about a half hour away, and just go thrifting. I go thrifting
Oh, how fun. Just alone, just you.
by myself. I get a coffee, just take my time. Because when you have little kids, shopping is a adventure.
Yeah.
That's a tour.
It's not
Under
fun.
the wraps, and it's an adventure.
Right.
So now I can just take my time.
Good.
It is.
I love that.
I have to watch and not buy too much.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, that's when it would border into the selfish side, right?
Yeah.
Spending too much money.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Kim?
Sorry, y'all. My business internet got upgraded today, and there's been a few glitches.
Okay.
So my internet just blopped. You know what first popped in my head was James was in. He worked for Delta in Fort Walton for 2 years. And so we went back and I went back and forth on the weekends and stuff. And so when it got to be hunting season, he would come home for the weekend and I would go there by myself. And it
That
was
was fun.
wonderful. He had a nice condo on the beach.
Oh, here.
And I loved it so much. It was
Well,
a long time
well,
ago, so I'm sure I've done something else for myself, but that's the first
Not
thing that popped in
much.
my head.
I don't think
Yeah.
you do that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
yeah, it was
Well,
nice.
if you there, we had a lot of restriction on us, Kim. You and I couldn't tell our parents we were going out to drink. We had to say whatever, but didn't. If you were going to drink, we certainly didn't go home. We spent the night with a friend because
Yeah.
we were not raised in homes that was acceptable.
Right.
So we'd go to Barbara's, and her dad was so cool, and he would tell us to have a quarter's worth of beer on nickel pitcher night. So
No, a dollar.
a dollar's worth. That's right.
Yeah.
I know. I always get that wrong, Kim. Sorry about that. But what's an expectation that's been on you in your lifetime, whether it's your parents, your friends, your kids, or whatever? What's an expectation that you're like, I'm done with that. I'm not going to do that. And there's a reason we're asking these questions in this order. But what's an expectation that you've had on you that, I'll tell you mine. My expectation was, this was young, when we were young, every Sunday, no matter what, we had to go to my parents for lunch every Sunday, which sounds sweet because my mom's an amazing cook. But when you're a newlywed and you travel as much as Steve and I traveled, we had to go every Sunday. It was expected. If there was a family reunion, if it was Sunday, if there was anything, you were there. And, I finally listened to Steve enough to say, your father would never have gone to his mother-in-law's every Sunday if she lived in town. He loves her. He loved her when they were alive, but he would never do that. Why are you allowing him to hold you to the standard he would never keep? And I mean, we literally, when we moved away, we stopped going every Sunday in 2005. So from 1986 until 2005, except every now and then we would go to lunch at my mom's. And, either it was because it was expected, it was new and fresh, or then, we had little kids. Then my dad got really sick. Oh, well, you never know when the last Sunday's going to be. I'm just glad that I don't have those expectations on my kids, and I'm not going to put them on my kids. So I'm glad that I can say, I'm not going to the family reunion. I don't miss many, but I'm not going because I don't want to go. It doesn't fit. So that was a strong thing in my life that I had those strong expectations on me.
Mm-hmm.
So how about you, Jeanne?
I guess, I was raised, my dad was a judge, and he had 20 plus years as a lieutenant colonel. And so, the expectations that he placed on me were a lot different than he did on my brothers. I think my brothers were like, they messed up on a lot of stuff. And I just never got caught. And so, I had to be the one that was always the angel, always doing, I had to far exceed whatever my brothers did. So, my dad poured everything into the athletics. So I always had to be the best, an athlete, best in school, best in everything. And I never could go to him and say, Dad, I need this, because he would come back and say, what are you going to do about it? So I was never raised in a manner of being taken care of. And Dad had that expectation of, he wanted me to be a strong woman. It's like he had a premonition that, my life has not been the easiest. And I know everybody's life is not the easiest, but he raised me in a manner that his expectations were I was always going to take care of business. I was always going to take care of everything. And I've learned to relax a little bit more and allow the people in my life to take care of things instead of me always being in charge. And I think that was the expectations that were placed on me, is to be that strong woman, and I don't have to be anymore. I can
That's
let
beautiful.
let my children take care of things and stuff. So it really, that's been hard to let go, because I
bet.
I've kind of been like a control freak in a lot of ways,
Well, you had
because
to
of it.
be. It sounds
Yeah.
like you had to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've learned to just kind of release those expectations of always having to be the strong one. So
That's
I'm
beautiful.
strong when I have to be, but
Right.
then I let others take that reign. So
That's great. Tinsley, how about you?
What was the original question?
The original question was, what's a rule or expectation that you've happily thrown away or done without? So expectations that were on you that you've just said, I'm not gonna cater to those expectations anymore.
Okay, well, I'll just start with what I put on myself, because that's, I learned boundaries along the way here, and it was with a lot of help from people to me to learn what's mine and what's yours, and
Right.
what yours is not mine. I'm not to take on other people's stuff. That's been a hard lesson, but I feel pretty good about my boundaries today that I've had to learn through School of Hard Knocks. And when I'm in other people's business, that's an ego trip. I need to mind my own business. MYOB is the way. I am not God. There's one, and it's not me. So if I'm in other people's business, if I'm trying to run the show for your life, then what does that say about me? So,
Yeah.
so as much as that is a fight, sometimes, I might see what you need to be doing. But if somebody's not asking for my opinion, or if I maybe put it out there and step out on that limb a little bit and it cracks, I need to get off the limb and leave that person alone.
Right.
That's on the old lady list.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's, we've talked about Mel Robbins and her theory of let them.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to do it.
Yeah.
Let them. It's
Yeah.
not your
And
responsibility.
they have a God too in their life. So
Yes.
I don't know. We don't know what's right for
Yeah.
somebody else. It may look like it's
Yeah.
not a good idea, and then you find out it is. What do we know?
Right. How did you know? Yeah, moving to
I
Gulf
know.
Shores, for heaven's sakes. How is that a good idea? My gosh.
I know. When I moved to Gulf Shores, I mean, gosh, that wasn't in the plan.
Right.
And I never thought I'd move out of Atlanta. I was like,
Right. Me
the
either.
rest of it, the rest of Georgia was like Rednecksville and Alabama. What? People live there, and
On
then I end
purpose?
up there, and I love it. And I've been here 35 years, and now I'm a
Wow.
Gulf Coast gal. I used to be a city
Wow.
gal.
You were.
I mean, I lived in. So, I mean, you just never know. And it's the same
Right.
thing with the list you have for the man you're going to meet.
Right.
Scott was 5 years younger than me. That was not on the list.
Right.
But I had to get rid of
Right.
the list and ask God for help and his
Right.
guidance. And that's who I want to be with. That's where I want to be, is where God wants me. And
Right.
and there's a lot of noise, and sometimes you can't hear it. And that's where
Exactly.
really good friends come in. And not people that just necessarily tell you what to do, because they're not always right. But
No.
I do have some really good people that give me good, solid feedback, and I need to allow them to do that. And this past year has been a total change. Of course, I've asked for help for years, but I really have been asking for help for the last. We lost Kim for the last year, and you guys coming down was a big help. I mean, we came up with this podcast. I remember I felt like I went up a step after you guys came down. I really started feeling better. So I'm really glad that we're connecting this way. I really am. Thank you.
Thank you, Tinsley, for being the leader in all this. Barbara, what about you? Expectations on you? What have you given up?
I think what I want to give up is one, having to be right. Having to be right, and like Tinsley said, having to change other people. I've done a lot of that when I was a newlywed, and my kids and I talk about this. I mean, I still think some of it was good. Some of these fights were productive and good, but it was hard to watch. It was excruciating at times to be in it, and I feel like now take a rest, and the battle is the Lord. I don't have to do all the fighting, all the, crusading for my own self-esteem, or, I don't know.
But that's hard too, Barbara, because there's a fine line between letting your children go do certain things, because your job is to rear them and raise them and give them good advice. I mean, that is. But once they're adults, as Kim's mom told her, it's very hard being the parent of adult children. I remember when Sue Pickle said that. It's very hard. And
It's
so,
tricky.
Amen.
But
it is.
there's where Tinsley's advice comes in handy again. It's arrogant to think you know better, even than your own kids. Sometimes it's arrogant to think people need to be changed. So I'm working on it, just resting more and trusting God more. So
That's great. Kim, how about you? What expectations were on you that you said, I'm not accepting those anymore?
I think kind of along the lines, Jen, of what you were talking about with the dinner, Sunday dinner, but I felt like I always, wanted, and a lot of this was from respect for my parents. Like I wanted to be the good girl, and I, didn't want them to find out anything bad.
Uh-oh.
She's going to have to get her money back for today from the internet provider.
Maybe some, but high school, whatever. And I just didn't I wanted my kids to always feel like I was a safe place. Like they could come to me no matter what. If you messed up, if you, whatever, just don't lie to me, just tell me the truth. You're gonna be in a lot less trouble if you're honest. And I think just being able to come to me as a parent, but also, I mean, not be their friend, because I know that's a whole different thing. But I didn't want them, I wanted them to feel like I was a safe place if they were in trouble, or if they did something that they wish they hadn't done,
Right, which is different than what you thought your parents expected of you.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, I get that.
For sure.
So let's talk more fun stuff.
Okay.
So let's talk about what we knew each other in college, and we knew what we thought our life was going to be and what that would mean in terms of success. But what do you define success today? Because we know it's different than what we were in college. So, Jeanne, what do you define today if you say this is what success looks like? It's not, I know we all probably wanted to do certain things in college, but what does success look like to you?
Well, success to me is just living your life, what's holding you back, start trying to travel, that YOLO, you only live once, is very true. I saw it in the funeral industry, and I saw, my own family. My brother, when he passed away December 31st, shook my world, because he was the last person that I knew that was part of my birth family. And, he didn't live the life that I thought that he should have. Was he successful financially? Absolutely. But to me, the money doesn't matter to me. Yeah, you got to pay your bills and be able to do things, but I think you need to do more to make yourself happy. Back a couple of years ago, I wanted to start doing experiences with my family opposed to presents, because they'll remember the experiences. But the gifts, they don't remember what you gave them last year. They don't. And so I feel like just living your life and doing what makes you happy is part of success.
Right.
And, that to me is what I'm trying to do now. And I'm working at the happiest place on earth, and trying, and I'm not putting a plug in, but it's true. You know, you
Right.
go there and you can be a kid. And, you know, I go to work and I can wear a tiara, I can wear Mickey ears, I can do whatever I want, you know, and I can be a kid again. And that to me is being success. How long will I work there? I don't know. My goal is to try to work till I'm 70.
That's great.
Just because I like to work and I don't mind, and I get to work from home, you know, most days, and I'm off 3 days, and I only have to go in the office 2 days a week. So it's a perfect job
awesome.
for me to hit my 60s and I can retire from there. And
Mhm.
that's happiness, and that's success for me. It's just being happy.
Right. How about you, Barb? How do you define success
Well,
today?
today, honestly, like I already said, I want off the bench. And by that, I mean, I want to do evangelism, tell people about Jesus, uh, serve people as the Lord leads. Uh, I don't know, encourage people, encourage my husband, my kids, um, and just go. I just would go. But I will go on a cruise with you, Jeanne.
I love
I
it.
will go on a cruise with you. I will play basketball with you on a cruise.
All right, I want to see that.
Easily.
Yeah, now that she's had
easily
leg
horse.
surgery, you'll
Yeah,
play
play
basketball.
horse.
I will take time for that. And
I
so
love it.
Tinsley's
love
going
it.
to be the ship's captain.
Yes. Yeah.
That's right. I
There
am
you
a
go.
captain. I'm
She's
Yeah,
official.
there you
official.
go.
Yeah,
U.S.
yeah.
Coast Guard.
Yes.
So do I get to go now?
You get to go now, Tinsley.
Yes,
What does
go.
success look like to you?
Okay, I'm going to have to ask you again for the original question again.
Okay. The original
I get lost
question
in what
is,
everybody's saying.
yes. How's your definition of success changed
Oh.
since college, and what do you see as success
Yes.
today?
Okay, the first thing I thought of when you were talking is freedom. It's not money, but money does give you freedom, so it kind of has a little bit to do with money. But I basically don't want to work for the man ever again. I just say that to be funny. It could be a woman. It doesn't matter. I like
Yeah.
working for myself. I've been
Right.
working for myself since 2004 as a real estate agent. And I like that freedom. I don't want to be a broker, although I have my broker's license. I do not want to be in charge of people. I like being in charge. I like having my clients. My assistant, who needs no babysitter at all.
Right.
She's perfect. She's my friend, and we were a team. We do things together. She's actually stepped up a lot this last year because I've been not, just not quite the same last year. And we have a deal. I compensate her more, so she's happy with the deal. I'm happy with the deal. I get to do this sailing thing and see if what my life's going to be now. And there's been a lot of sadness on this trip, but there are days where I'm selling the boat. I mean, I've said that about 50 times. That's it. Get rid, because things would break, or that's it. I'm out of here, And then the next morning, I'm like, let's go.
I love this book.
I'm kind of schizophrenic in my grief.
I love that.
And I
I
brought
love
the
that.
cats with me, so
So I'd say you're the definition of success today, Tinsley.
yeah. And I'm,
Yes.
as long as I get to just, I kind of do what I want,
That's
and
great.
I want to be more. I'm in recovery, Jeanne. I don't know if you know that, but so part of our deal is to give back, but I haven't been able to do a lot of that in the last year. I'm just kind of surviving. So I want to get back to that eventually, but there's other ways to give back. There's just so many ways to give back, even if it's just make sure you. I did okay. I get to talk, right?
Yes.
I did a video on my Salty Abandon. Yes, at Salty
Follow
Abandon. My sailing. Follow, like, subscribe. I did a video, as a reel, that said, I have a question for everybody. What do you guys sailors tip? I heard a bad rumor that sailors are cheap. I was shocked at the feedback. It was so varied.
I like that.
I
watched
loved
that
it.
one.
I love that one.
I love that one.
Yeah,
Did you
'cause
see
the
that?
guy, the marina was talking about that they don't tip well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
and
nice
it was
marina.
you have to look across all the platforms that I post to, the answers that I got. I was shocked. Why should I tip? I'm like, oh my gosh, what they're saying is true. and I said I would give my answer after I got the answers, and that I would be honest. And I'm on the high end. It's $20 when I come in. If one person helps me tie up, and if two people, it's $20. They can split it, or they get, because they are in charge of, they know how to get a boat in their marina. So they're a very valuable service.
Yeah.
But anyway, so even just tipping right,
Right.
that is
That's
the way of
successful.
giving back.
Or generosity.
Yeah, that's just a little thing that we can do. So even though I'm not sitting down and working the steps with somebody and give other newly sober person, there's all kinds of way to give back. It's
Yes.
not gossip, not, there's just so many
Right.
things.
Yeah.
So I want to do my little part here, and just do what I can for now, and pick it up later,
That's right.
step it up a
Yeah.
little bit later.
When you're right, when it's the right time for you.
There's
Yeah.
nothing like when you're helping somebody. There really is nothing like that.
Nothing feels you like that.
And you wouldn't think like, oh, I'm going to be inconvenienced, but the feeling that you get of sharing your experience is really amazing. And I'm saying this to remind myself, okay?
Right. Right. There's nothing like whether it's recovery, whether it's helping a single mom through school, helping her, encourage her to make it where she can keep her baby and not, do something or have to give it up for adoption. I mean, there's so many ways we can help people, and we get the reward.
Yeah.
We get, I've done things for people that they'll tell me years later, and I completely forgot I did it. Because you don't forget the joy, but you're not keeping a score or keeping a ledger on it.
No.
But let's get back to our topic on that, Kim. What
Okay.
is your definition of success today?
I'm going to do a sidebar really quick. Tinsley, I just want to let you know, this is a season in your life. Okay.
Yeah.
You deserve, there are seasons in our life that we're takers. Okay. And you
Right.
have to receive, you have to be a receiver.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is the season
Well,
that you have
I'm doing that.
Well, you are a giver. I know that about you.
Yes.
So you just have to allow yourself to have a season where you're a receiver.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
So don't say any, seriously. Okay.
Thank you.
That was just a sidebar.
That was great.
So
Thank you, Kim.
success to me, you're welcome. Back, when I was younger, was totally money. Like, oh my gosh, we have to have a bigger house. We need to have just needing to keep up with, what it looks like to be successful, in my eyes. And that was stupid. That was just young and immaturity, right?
Right.
So now I think for me, it would be contentment in what I have, what I have today, not what I need to look ahead at or what's been behind me, but being content in today of what I have, what God's given me, what, and also, to be able to give to others. And that's, to make a difference. I want to make a difference. And whatever that
beautiful.
looks like. So I want to be content and I want to make a difference.
That's beautiful.
I want my life to be worth something, and, so that's it.
That's beautiful. Well, I'll do mine real quick.
Yes.
Well, I thought about this, because I was thinking about the subject, and I always remember Ted Turner, our Atlanta icon guy there, Crazy Ted. But he said in an interview, he said years ago, and it stuck with me all these years, his definition of success was having options.
Yes.
And I thought
freedom,
that
options
is that was a great definition, is having options.
Yeah.
So, okay. So girls, we've defined some things that in the last, 45, 50 years we have left, whatever it is that we want to do.
I don't want to be that old.
But we got to do them, y'all. It's what was the title Tinsley came up with? You're not dead yet. So what's the holdup? So Tinsley, girls that want to get back into Spanish, what are we going to do to make that happen? How are we going to learn guitar again? Jeanne, how are you going to get those cruises booked and get started going on those? Barb, how are you going to continue to serve the Lord by evangelizing and taking care of
and playing basketball?
And playing basketball. Yes. Yes. All these things that you loved. And Kim, the friend trips that you want to do to make our lives happen, we need to think about this week. I don't want to just, I work a lot. I work a lot of hours and I take care of my mom and I, do some volunteering stuff. But it's kind of time to say, what else do I need? What do I want? I don't want to look back at 85 with my feet propped up when I don't really feel like doing it. And maybe I've got arthritis and can't learn
Let's go
guitar.
play that guitar.
Over here now. Nana's got to play.
Row the boat ashore.
But so that's what I want us to think about this week. I know, Kim, you've got to hop off in a minute. You've got some responsibilities to take care of. But let's think about, what are we going to do? Let's start looking at some immersion trips.
I got one caveat. So some things have kind of taken the place of, so cause you can't do everything. There's sailing,
no, you
there's
cannot.
podcasting, there's work. So that's stuff that, there's a lot of tech work before we do the podcast, a lot of tech work after.
Sorry to interrupt, but since you might not be able to get to all your Spanish lessons, you can go out to Mexican food.
That is true.
Isn't that just
That is true.
good?
And order in
Sometimes
Spanish.
you might have to just, substitute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
well, like Kim,
I
like
definitely
Kim said,
do want to
there's a
speak.
season.
I do want to be fluent in Spanish. I do.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll send. We'll talk about Guatemala next time.
Okay.
I do want to tell a funny story
Okay.
about my brother-in-law, who I adore. Right. So this is a quick story because I do have to go see my mom. Okay, so my brother-in-law went to the same McDonald's, which is on Johnson Ferry Road, every morning for breakfast. And most everybody working there is speaks Spanish, right? And he wanted so much. He was always engaging with them. They knew him by name. He got the same thing every single day. So he decides he's going to go in there one morning and order in Spanish. Just, because that people do appreciate you trying to learn their language, even if you screw it up, which I have done many a time in Guatemala. So anyway, he goes in and places his order, right? And they know what he's going to get anyway, but he comes in Spanish, and then they all start dying laughing, right? Just because they know him enough that they, so they start, and he's like, what? And one of the guys said, "You just ordered eggs and breast milk." I love that story.
Great story.
I'll take some eggs and breast milk. Thank you to go. Make it to go.
Thankfully, they knew him and they knew his regular order.
Yes.
He was not trying to be offensive in any way.
That is hysterical. That is hysterical.
Okay, and then I'll tell you funny. We went into a massage place with my sisters, in Guatemala City. And I had been in language school all week. And I wanted to ask them, right? How much is a massage? How much does it cost? Okay. That's a basic Spanish question.
Yeah.
Okay. So I say the Spanish sentence that I think is, how much does it cost? My oldest sister goes outside. She's about to wet her pants because I said, how old is your money?
How old is your money?
Dinero? Did you say dinero?
Yeah, I said cuantos años dinero or something like that. I don't even know what.
Yes, how many years is your money?
How old is your money?
I have no clue what you said.
Yeah.
Exactly. My point, but and my daughter always laughs because I want so bad to speak. So I'm changing it from girls trips to speaking Spanish, or B, combine the two. Guatemala City language school with the girls.
I think we need to go to Guatemala City.
Y'all, it's beautiful where we go. It's a gorgeous city, Antigua. So I'll tell you about it. Make sure your passports are all up to date.
Yes.
Mine is.
And I got to get Rachel graduated first next year.
She's got her passport. Well, I think I have mine right here.
Tinsley have passport. We'll travel on the boat.
Yes.
Sure.
Okay, so girls, I love y'all. Jeanne, it was so great to see you.
Yeah, it was great. Thank you.
Thank you for putting up with my internet craziness. It's supposed to be a faster speed now. I love you all so much.
Love you.
And I can't wait to see y'all next week.
Right. All right, girls, I'm going to leave. Oh, good. I got one thing to say.
Oh, I can't.
Let's don't look back in
Just one
5
thing?
years. Just one. Let's don't look back in 5 years and regret that we haven't done anything about this.
Yeah.
We have a
Yeah.
lot of chapters left to write in our books.
Yes. Yes. I love y'all.
Aw,
Love you,
what
Kim.
a great topic, Jennifer. Bye, Kim. Tell your mom we said hello.
Yes, bye, Sue
Okay.
Pickle.
Love you, girlies.
Pickle for
Bye.
president.
Pickle for- That's right. So Tinsley, you
Yo.
wanna lead us out?
No?
Well, okay. Let me just say this one thing here. I created this, so I have to bring it up. Where is it? That's not it. Oh, here we go. We're on 4 platforms now: Facebook,
Yay.
YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok.
Woo, woo.
And
Wow.
we will soon be we're only able to go live through StreamYard on YouTube because we don't have enough followers on Facebook and Instagram. We need people to go on there.
Jean's working on that.
Yeah. Did anybody comment or anything? I can't
I didn't see anybody in today.
Nobody commented today. We usually get something.
Yeah.
But we need
Well, we'll
we
work
need
on that.
subscribers so we can go live on Facebook and Instagram. TikTok is a whole long story. So, but we can post clips there. So, and what else? Next week, who's got the topic? Should we volunteer,
Barb,
Kim?
I think it's your turn.
Is it my turn? Okay,
I think
I'll
it's your
come up
turn.
with one.
Because Kim did
I'll
it
come
last
up.
week.
Okay,
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll come with it.
Okay.
So, thank you, Jean, for coming on.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
Yeah,
it.
Very
anytime.
much. Great to
If
see
guys-
you.
Yeah, I'd love to come
so
back
great.
for sure.
Yes, please spread
I
the
want
word
to.
around the
Yes.
sorority that we're poaching people from the sorority for guests.
Yes.
We've got several people that want to do it, but we just can't seem to nail them down. It's like nailing Jello to
Yeah.
a wall. So, so anyway, what did I come up with for our exit? See you next week. We'll be here, still chatting after curfew. Good night, everybody.